All right, I have to make these videos for those that are feeling stuck. If you're like me, way back then, man, I just felt stuck. And from my perspective, you couldn't really change anything about yourself. So I was pretty much a fat kid. Started getting a little taller, so in my head, I kind of evened out the fatness. So I got a little skinny fat. And then I was like, all right, awkward face, awkward body, effed up hair, crooked teeth. I don't know what to do. I'm literally wishing to stars, just praying on something different, just praying on something unique, some type of outlining about myself. And clearly that's a lack of self-love. But if you were feeling stuck, in general, if you just want to know how you can just immediately just improve your looks, just go into this year just slowly looking better and better. Here are some tips. For one, clothes that fit. If you grew up like me, most of my adolescent life was spent in hand-me-down clothes, so I was poor. So most of my clothes were not meant for me originally until we finally started getting clothes. And even then, whether it's because of having friends that would comment on shirt size or pants or etc., I still wasn't wearing things that fit. If you have friends that are literally telling you, oh, you're wearing a medium, you should wear large, it's not. Meanwhile, they're wearing a whole drape. Don't listen to them. It might work for them, but in reality, as a man, you should wear clothes that fit you. Meaning, not big to where you're literally we can't tell what your body definition is. Preferably something that fits you well. Preferably something that you could, if you were to wear it, you could see the outline of your shoulders. If you were to flex, you could see, the peak of your arms or etc. Any type of form you have, you want to show, especially if you work out. Because what's the point if you're just gonna hide it? And I can understand trying to look comfy, but for the most part, you should wear clothes that fit. Secondly, finding some type of hairstyle. I was having a conversation with my bro, I think it was about 2 months ago, maybe a month ago now, and he was trying to do some things with his looks. And I was just looking at him and I was thinking to myself, you're a brown guy, you have decently length hair. You should try a middle part. Your hair is kind of messy. You keep cutting it. And to be honest, it isn't. You keep not liking how it is cut. You're one bad cut away from just disliking what you got, and you gotta wait for it to grow again. He's not a different person, clearly. It's just the middle part. But it's been growing in. He's been finding his journey. He's been moisturizing his scalp. He's been finding a way to truly master his hair to get it to a certain texture, etc. he likes and look. And he's finally confident, and it makes a genuine big difference. Me, for example. Most of the time, in most of my videos, you see I have an afro. And that thing is hard to manage. I love afros, but it's hard to manage. But that whole afro phase that you see is literally just delayed gratification waiting for braids. Now my hair is finally long enough and I have braids, and I don't even have to say anything. And already on the board, I have clothes that fit and I have well-groomed and well-done hair. So it looks like I take care of myself. And a person, outside of yourself, the woman you're approaching, your people that you're interacting with, are gonna notice that. We immediately notice when people take care of themselves. You ever notice how when someone has good posture, it's almost as if people treat them differently. When someone's fit, it's almost as if people treat them differently. These things are because, for example, attraction, but another one is just because you can tell just by looking at them how much, intent they have when it comes to taking care of themselves, just how disciplined they are, and etc. It shows. Another tip, and I'm not saying this is the biggest tip, but it's the biggest tip, in my opinion, exercise. I was only able to change that stuck feeling as if I was stuck in this just character that I didn't want to be running through the video game with. You know how you play a game, you make a character and the looks are just not right, or they got you playing a character and you can't customize, you just feel all right, I can't really relate. You want someone that you could fully retrospect, fully change up, fully, identify yourself with. You want to be him in the flesh in this game. So you should be him in the flesh in real life as well. And the only way you can do that, since we can't move around stats on some type of customization screen, is exercise. It takes longer, but it does indeed get the job done. And for me, I think it was about just a few, 2, maybe 4 months, 2 months in, where I just noticed like things about me started to change. My back started getting wider. So already like my stature, if I was feeling like a very small individual, my stature was getting better. I think later on, I didn't know at what point, but my jaw started to my jaw is not the same as it used to be. Like at all. My jaw is a completely different jaw than it used to be. I used to have a very rounded face, and I still have a very round face because I just have a baby face, so it doesn't really age. Like literally, I can't even see wrinkles in this screen for some reason. But it's quite like line-like now, if you know what I mean. Like you can see the cut. It wasn't like that before, and that was something I disliked. With working out and with all this training, my face literally like changed, and I think I kind of like grew more into a man in a faster pace, in all the good ways though. So you want to exercise. Exercise is going to change the composition of your body. You're going to feel better. You're going to naturally have a better stature, and people will notice. When people notice, they're immediately going to respect you more. You're going to have an easier time with people. Fit people have an easier time in life, period. Not only because they live longer, but just because the way people interact with them. So immediately, if you're fit, to be honest, you can be fit. You can be fit from what I've noticed. And I wouldn't say the outfit I'm wearing, right, is cooking, but it gets a pass because of just how it looks on me because I'm fit. And I noticed that with a lot of people, like fit guys, if you look at their fashion, they could miss. You know, the shoes cannot really be adding up, and the shirt cannot really be adding up. But because they have muscle, it just looks good. Because they have well built, you know, leg, it just looks good. Everything just fits to your size. So now, first you were buying clothes to fit. Now clothes are trying to fit on you. Like you changed the game. Another tip, and I think this is like the second. I'd put exercise top, and I'd put this. Yeah, I'd put this as second. And notice how I didn't say earlier, like buying certain clothes, etc. You're gonna have to find your own style. But ultimately, if you have clothes that fit, that's the first thing you need to get out of the way. But this tip, body language. This one was a long time coming for me. Body language. I just had a bunch of little mannerisms and body language that just didn't properly like get the results. You know what I mean? Get the results like I wanted in the world on the field. I had little things like looking down when I would walk, and just being so closed off. If you're so closed off in your body language, you have to realize that you become very hard to approach. You add muscle on top of that, you become even harder to approach because now you look like a very intimidating frame. So all of this, you know, looks matching in a sense. All of this hair you've been care you've been doing, all this style you've been finding in your clothing, exercise, etc. You're becoming this figure. Sometimes some people just might not feel cool approaching you, even though they are attracted to you, even though they kind of think you look a certain way, because of how unapproachable you seem in your body language, how folded, you know, you are. Just like, why would they want to talk to you if you literally look like, you know, you don't want to be there? So something I had to really master was my body language. Even now, I always tell myself, okay, you know, I'm sitting in a seat right now. There's no back to it. So my body language, if I wanted to like greet someone, isn't going to be, hey, like when they walk past me into this place, it's going to be, hey, like simple. And another thing with body language is the way you carry yourself and the way you speak. Something I had to also master that I'm still trying to get more used to is voice. You don't want to force this, but so many times we rush our words, for one. We end our words in higher pitches, which isn't very this doesn't sound very manly, and it doesn't really garner any proper attention. You ever been in a group of people and there's someone like speaking sort of like very loud, very like effeminately or very like light, and they're just trying to get their voice across, and like the people that are like speaking louder with higher tone, deeper tone, and speaking more calmly, they tend to just rule the conversations because that their speech, it's more respectable just on instinct. It's like an innate type of thing within us where if someone's speaking, you know, in a more calm and deep manner and in a more controlled manner, and they're not afraid to pause and etc., and they don't end every word in a high pitch or come on, like hey, how's your day? Instead of hey, how was your day? Like immediately, like without me even forcing it. You couldn't tell me that was not different. And lastly, so this video is getting pretty long, is skincare. Skincare is very simple. One tip I would just say right away is just, honestly, too many people are like washing their skin like in an absorbent amount with hot water and etc. If you're gonna wash your skin, start to go more towards lukewarm to coldish. To be honest, it's better for your skin. And one thing right now too is make sure your skin's moisturized. If you're not a part of African American descent, you might not even moisturize your skin that much, and you don't realize it, but you're ashy too. So it's a big thing for us to moisturize our skin, and that helps with the aging process. So they say black doesn't crack. And a large part of that is people say, oh, it's genetics, yada, yada. But a big reason why I believe that, black people don't age as harshly in the face or et cetera, is just because we spend most of our lives being taught to moisturize our skin. So when you wake up, moisturize your skin. Preferably oil, not lotion, and a lot of other processed stuff, because it's just not, it doesn't do good. It just, I believe it does. I believe it literally makes you age worse, despite it being there for moisture. I believe there's things in it that just ruins your skin, ironically. Have a good day, bro. Like, comment, subscribe. See you.